Here we go. And there he goes. He's got so much more space now. Going straight into his house. That's awesome. This is how this animal should be kept, and I can't wait to do this with a lot more of the animals. It just makes me really happy. What up? What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I am going to be moving my Tegu outdoors into an outdoor enclosure. So I have this empty dog kennel that I was using for my tortoises before I built them their shelter. This was used to house them temporarily until I built them their permanent shelters. But now that they have their permanent shelter, this dog kennel is vacant. And so I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with it. And at first, initially, I was going to put the rhino iguana out here. But then I realized that there's some gaps and cracks in it that are just big enough to where the rhino iguana, at his size right now, would probably be able to squeeze out of. So I decided in the meantime, for while the iguana starts to grow, that I will put the Tegu inside of this kennel. So I've already started to work on the kennel a little bit. So let me show you guys what I've got going on right now. So we got the kennel right here, and these are those little gaps and cracks that the iguana just might be just small enough to be able to squeeze through. So in the meantime, while he grows, I think I'm going to leave him inside to grow a little bit, and then I'll put him out here and move the Tegu into a custom built enclosure after. But for the meantime, I'm gonna have the Tegu in here. So the work I've got done to this so far is simply just this. I have put a screen at the bottom, as you can see right here. And so this whole bottom is covered with screen. I actually did record myself doing that. So I'll make sure I put that in here so that you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. And basically I just had to cut the screen. I used the tool, they were electric metal shears. I got them at Harbor and Freight for like $50. And they worked great with cutting this metal mesh, and a great investment for anybody who plans on working with this stuff a lot, like for chicken coops and things like that. It makes it so much quicker and so much easier to cut through. So I put the metal mesh on the bottom, and the reason for that being is that a lot of these reptiles, Tegus especially, like to dig, and they like to burrow. And so without this metal mesh on the bottom, this kennel doesn't have a bottom to it. So it's open. So if the Tegu starts to dig, then he can easily dig out and under and out of this kennel. So putting the mesh at the bottom helps keep him in here. So if he wants to dig, he can, and he's not going to be able to get out from underneath the kennel, or at least it's going to make it a lot more difficult for him to do it. You'd have to find a really small gap to try to squeeze through, but I don't think I really left too many gaps like that, if any at all. So I put the metal mesh on the bottom. That's to help contain him, and also for other animals to not be able to get in and get him as well, because other animals, raccoons, possums, animals like that, they can dig too, and they can dig under the enclosure and try to get in and get him, and he'll be susceptible in here. So just helps keep him in and keep things out. And then on top of that, what I did is I put some dirt in here. Now I went and got some more dirt that I'm going to be putting in today, but the dirt is mainly just, obviously for his substrate. They like to burrow, as I said, but also because I needed this to be level. So this side of the enclosure, when the tortoises were in it, actually wasn't level, and it was lower than this side. And when we got a heavy rain, this side of the enclosure actually started to flood a little bit and nearly drown my tortoise. So I want to make sure that that doesn't happen with the Tegu, because the Tegu's not nowhere near as big as the tortoise is. So I want to make sure that that doesn't happen. So I'm filling this in with dirt so that it's a little bit more level. And so hopefully that won't be the case and I won't have any accidents when it comes to rain in this enclosure. So that's what I've done so far. So what I'm gonna do right now is I went and got 8 more bags of dirt. I'm about to fill in the enclosure a little bit more of dirt, and then I will check back in with you guys and we can start building the actual shelter that the Tegu is gonna be living in. So I'm gonna go do that, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Peace. So I was filling this enclosure with dirt and just thinking about how to make it even more secure for animals, to make sure that they don't get out. And as I was thinking about that, I came to this realization. Obviously, you don't just want the enclosure to keep your animals in, but you also want to keep outside animals out. And my major concern was keeping things like raccoons and possums out. And these gaps, obviously, a raccoon can't get through that, right? Possum can't get through that. One predator I didn't think about when it comes to those gaps is pretty much probably going to be the most prevalent predator that I have out here, and that is rats. And I know people don't normally think of rats as predators, but they're opportunistic, so they will take anything that they can get. And a rat can squeeze through pretty much any single one of these gaps. I mean, they could squeeze through this, they could squeeze through that, they could squeeze it. Like, they are just so adaptable and so limber, they can get through the tiniest of spaces. And in the winter months, my Tegu is going to be very susceptible to attacks from rats, because when the colder weather happens, the Tegu's activity level drops and it will start to go into brumation, possibly. And if that happens, the Tegu's not going to be very active and he's not going to be able to defend himself. And so there's horror stories all the time of rats getting into enclosures, and you know, if someone has their lizard sleeping outside, the rats just chew the tail to the bone, or chew them to the bone, because they can't defend themselves because it's too cold. So I'm gonna have to wire mesh this whole thing. I'm gonna have to put wire mesh around the entire enclosure just to be extra safe, because I don't want that to happen. Like I said, I've seen it happens quite often. So yeah, that is one. I'm glad I was thinking about that, because that is one predator that you don't normally think of as a predator, but they really are. So, and they're the most prominent out here. Like, you might see raccoons every once in a while, but rats are everywhere. So I'm gonna have to do that before I put any more dirt in. We're gonna have to try to rat proof this thing. And when I do that, technically, I guess I would be able to put the iguana out here now. But I already got the supplies for the Tegu. So I think I'm gonna let the iguana still grow more inside before I put him outside, and I'll just put the Tegu out here. Tegu deserves more space. So yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do. I'm glad I thought of that. All right, you guys, so that took a lot longer than what I was expecting. This is like 3 days later from when I initially started this video. And part of that reason is because it's been so hot here that I've only been able to work at night. But the other and more important reason why it's taken so long is because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I finally got it all wired up and all wired in. So now it is fully rat proof, and the Tegu or whatever animal I end up putting in here. Hello, Achilles. Hi, Achilles. Hi, buddy. Any other animal that I end up putting in here is going to be fully protected. No rats are going to be able to get in here. This is how I'm doing his hide. And basically all it is it's just cinder blocks with plywood on top of it. And I'm gonna fill this in with dirt, and then the Tegu's gonna have a spot to hide. Now, I don't know how the heating is gonna be for something like this. This is the first time I've done a shelter like this. So I don't know, I don't think cinder blocks really insulate very well. So if it gets too cold, I might just bring the Tegu inside, but for right now, it's summer. I don't really got to worry about that too much. So this was good just for a quick shelter that I kind of just put together for him. And it should do him well while summer lasts, while we still have these warmer weather. While we still have the warmer weather. So now all that's left for me to do is I have these plants that I'm going to plant in here, and I'm going to fill it up with some more dirt and level it out to make sure that we got a nice level floor so that this thing doesn't flood when it rains. Other than that, after I'm done with all that stuff, I'll be able to put the Tegu in here. I don't think I'm gonna put him in here today because the sun's already going down, and I don't want to put him out here at night or when it's just about to be night. I want him to have a chance to explore the enclosure and everything. So I'll probably finish this up today, and then tomorrow I'll come back and I'll actually put the Tegu in here. So I'm gonna get going on that, and I'll see you in a little bit. All right, you guys, the moment of truth is here. We are going to be putting the Tegu into his brand new enclosure. I think it looks pretty good. So there's the Tegu in there. And we got his enclosure in here. I am super excited. So let's put him in here and see how he likes it. Oh, he's coming out by himself. Well, hello, buddy. You didn't want to be in there anymore, huh? Here we go. And there he goes. He's got so much more space now. Going straight into his house. That's awesome. We love to see it. Guys, I don't know if you understand how excited I am and how happy I am for Deadpool to be able to be out here in this outdoor enclosure. I mean, this is what I moved here for. This is the reason why, to give my animals enrichment like this, to let them be able to kind of live a more natural life, you know, and it just feels good to know, like, to see those dreams come to fruition. It's really, really cool. Like, this is how this animal should be kept. And I can't wait to do this with a lot more of the animals. It just makes me really happy. You know, this is a cool moment for me to have him out here like this and kind of just exploring and in his own little element. As you can see, he's going back into his hide right now. Oh, nope. He said, psych. And the great part about doing this and making this enclosure really, really secure and rat proof is because this isn't going to be the Tegu's permanent enclosure. This enclosure is very tall, right? You can see I'm standing in it. I'm 6'2", 6'3" on a good day. I'm standing in it and still got a couple inches of space. So it has a lot of height, and Tegus don't usually use that much height. They don't utilize it. So the plan is going to be, I'm going to build him his own enclosure in the future once he gets a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to move something, probably the iguana out here. I actually could have put the iguana in here now. I initially was gonna put the iguana in here, but then I saw all the gaps, didn't want to put him in here. But now that it's completely secure, I could have put the iguana in here, but I'm gonna give the iguana some more time to grow a little bit more. And then during that time, the Tegu will utilize it. I'll build the Tegu's own cage that doesn't have to have as much height. So the Tegu will go in that one. The iguana will come in here. And the iguana obviously will utilize this height because there'll be a bunch of branches he'll climb on. And so he'll actually utilize that. But for the time being, this is awesome just seeing the Tegu kind of chilling in here. I could sit here and watch this all day long. And for those of you who are curious, this is a dog kennel that I got at Tractor Supply. I believe it was about $800, but I actually got this one discounted because I had like pre-ordered it, and while it was waiting at the store, someone backed into it with a forklift and dented it. So I got this for like $300 off or something like that. So I only got this for like 500 bucks, but I'm pretty sure this size, which is the 8x8, I believe, is about $800 if I'm not mistaken. So pretty expensive, but I already had this, which is why I built this. But so if you already have one of these, then all you need is to get some chicken wire and just wrap it to cover up those gaps, because again, the main point of this video was keeping rats out of this enclosure, along with other animals, but rats mainly. And get some chicken wire, wrap it up, and you'll be good to go. Be on the lookout, because coming down to the tube pretty soon will be some more videos kind of like this. I'm going to be doing a lot of enclosure build videos. I'm upgrading a lot of animals and just making sure that they got a lot of space. So be on the lookout for that, especially if you like enclosure build videos. I know someone requested me to do a reptile room tour, and I just got to get it a little tidy first, and then I'll do the tour. Anyways, you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making this video. It was a longer process than I thought it was going to be. Just wrapping this with chicken wire, I honestly thought it was going to be a lot simpler process, a lot quicker process. And honestly, I probably could have done it a little bit prettier, because as you can see, I zip tied the chicken wire. I'm sure there's a more efficient way than zip tying it, but I didn't know what that was, so I zip tied it. It probably could look prettier, probably could be better, but it's gonna get the job done. So hopefully these plants kind of grow and give the Tegu a little bit more shade, and hopefully he enjoys it, which I think he will, because, you know, being outside, this is where these animals belong, right? They belong outside, they belong in the wild. If you guys watch my Tegu care guide video, then you guys will know that I said in there that Tegus are naturally from a wide range throughout South America. And so they inhabit a bunch of different climates, a bunch of different habitats. So it makes them really, really hardy and really, really adaptable creatures. And so Deadpool will have no problem adapting to this Houston climate. And then I'll bring him in for the winter, but then once I get the heaters inside of here and figure out a way to heat this house up, he'll just stay out here full time and he'll be good, because the winters out here don't get very cold, right? You get the occasional freeze, but for the most part, it's pretty mild temperatured. So yeah, I'm excited. Anyways, you guys, make sure you guys like this video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and please, please, please share this video. Until next time, everybody, my name is Pierce LaValle. We are in Pierce's Planet, and remember, it's all about the reps, baby. Peace.